this webinar, yet another next wave leadership call. Guys, I think this is the 4th or 5th straight week that we've had this webinar. Okay, this is Jason Brown, the host of tonight's training, Vice President of Field Operations for iMarketsLive. And guys, I got to tell you right now, I've never been so focused and so excited in regards to this company and this opportunity. You know, I've been able to travel the world, as a lot of you guys have known, and I've been to 35 countries and saw all types of people from every race, every religion, every belief system, building and making this company a part of their lives, and then a part of the shift to becoming, you know, that to just getting to that next level of financial freedom. And sometimes financial freedom isn't even in the form of currency, right? A lot of the times financial freedom is in the form of knowledge. For 3 years before I really had success, I was gaining so much financial freedom because I understood and I started to, and I continue to understand the principles that allow someone to become wealthy, right? The principles that allow someone to start to see success over an extended period of time. And so, you know, when I'm looking at growing the next wave of leadership inside of our company, I'm certain that any of you watching this webinar tonight can be a Platinum 5000 in the next 6 months, a Chairman 10 in the next 6 months. 2019 can be your year. But what we need to understand as leaders is that if we're not growing, we're dying, right? Stagnancy is the ultimate pool for disaster, right? Think about a pond that doesn't move, right? What happens? Usually mosquitoes go in there, disease, bacteria, algae, all this thing. But the ocean that's constantly moving, right? I look off my balcony in the morning and I can see the sand, you know, 50, 60 yards out because it's constantly moving. And so your brain needs to be more like the ocean and less like a pond. And that's why calls like this are so important. They should become your top priority, right? The Wednesday night next wave leadership calls, we get an opportunity not just to learn from myself, but to learn from 4 or 5 of the movers and shakers, right? The people that are actually getting results. See, that's how we win, because we take ourselves out of a position of stagnancy and we surround ourselves with people who have the things that we want. And when we do that in life, our results become nearly inevitable. Nearly inevitable. Now, of course, you got to take what you learn and you got to apply, right? Knowledge without action is useless. Okay. So what I ask you guys to do on this call is take away the distractions, right? If there's a TV on in the background, if there's music on in one ear, if you're playing video games and you're listening to this, well, guys, I just don't know if you can get success at a discounted rate. I'll just be honest with you. I don't know if you can get success at a discounted rate, but it didn't really work for me. When I was on calls like this, playing Xbox at the same time, I was broke. I shifted and started taking notes, right? Started paying attention, started really dialing in. So guys, without any further ado, I'm going to get this thing kicked off. We have almost 500 people on tonight's call. And I know, just like all the other ones, thousands of people will be watching this recording. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to turn off the chat box at different times throughout the webinar. I will turn it back on and ask you guys to engage and show the speakers some love, but we don't need any distractions. We don't need any pop-ups. What we're going to do right now is we're going to bring our first speaker up to the plate, Mr. Gio McCoy, okay? I got to be honest with you guys. I look at the leaderboard for the enrollments, right? The custom enrollment leaderboard at the end of December, and I'm like, who is George McCoy? I'm like, this person made some moves. Finished the month with 76 personally enrolled customers. 76. He's got a nice little bonus coming to him on Friday. But not just the bonus, the fact that he is maybe weeks, maybe 60 days max, but he will be a chairman at the IML Unleashed convention, walking the stage. And I asked him to come on tonight because we want to know, right? I said, you could share as many of those secrets, as many of those nuggets as you want. And he said, I'm going to share all the juice. So guys, without any further ado, help me welcome my boy, Gio McCoy, up here. So George, I'm going to give you the host. That should allow you to pin the video and we're good to go. Let me know if you can hear me, bro.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now that we got half the battle.
Can you sing?
Bingo. Take it
All
away.
right, hold on. Let me set up. We're live. We are live. Am I clear? Is everything okay?
Yeah, you're clear, bro.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Welcome to the call, everybody. I am so geeked up right now. I don't know if you guys can tell how excited I am. I never did a call for 500 plus people before. To be honest, I haven't, and I don't take this for granted. I really want to give it back to somebody that I just really been looking up to since day one. Seeing the top of the conversation plan, seeing where I want to be at, and then seeing the boss moves that was made behind the scenes. And now he's the vice president of field operations. So I want to give it back to Jason Brown. Man, just super excited to even be in the same paradigm as you, bro.
Hey,
I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Coming from where I come from.
Hey, Gio, can you hear me?
Every day, so
Gio, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, if you can, I know you're going to probably draw some stuff, but it's a little bit hard to hear you. So either maybe talk a little bit louder, see if we could do something with the mic. But, bro, I'm also excited to have you here. So let's adjust the mic and then we'll rock.
Is it better? Can you hear me better?
Yeah, way better.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. So I'm not going to be long because I know it's some chairmen that we have coming up that's going to drop some gems on what it is that we're doing and what we have here. But I definitely want to be strong and give you guys some of the things that I went through to get to the point of where I'm at now. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I know this is family. This is locker room talk. So I know this isn't a prospecting call or, this is all family. This is people, we all have the same goals, and that's to become financially free. So I'm going to give it to you raw and uncut because that's just how I am. I honestly, in the month of October, I deranked from Platinum 2000 back down to Platinum 1000. I had a retracement. You got to understand, I was Platinum 2000 from January of 2018 to October of 2018, and I deranked. And I wasn't somebody who was just sitting on the couch playing around. I've been going city to city, sacrificing family time, sacrificing everything to build this business, and I deranked. And my mentor, who I have to shout him out, Chairman 10, Riyad Jones, my mentor, me and him had a real personal one-on-one conversation, and he stressed to me personal development, spiritual development, personal development, spiritual development. So within that time frame, I watched something called Transformation Church. Here's a free nugget. I wasn't even going to say this on this call. I watched Transformation Church with Pastor Michael Todd on YouTube. Because sometimes I know myself. I don't like getting up early and going to church sometimes. And I don't like watching church on Sundays sometimes. Sometimes I'm in the mood for it on a Tuesday. Sometimes I'm in the mood for it on a Thursday. So I didn't want to make excuses to not get the message, get that in my spirit. So I started watching a lot of YouTube church. Transformation Church is what I like, right? So I watched that, and I just worked on myself. And I formed a relationship with God, and it's a lot of spiritual growth that happened within a 2-month time period. But while I was doing that, I was loading up ammunition. So understand that the personal development and the spiritual side is very important. That's 90% of success. It's a balance scale with success. If you're taking notes, write this down. Because a short pencil goes way further than a long memory. A short pencil goes way further than a long memory. I literally understand now, because of my mentor, Riyad Jones, I understand that spiritual development and personal development plays way more importance, way more significance when it comes to becoming successful, whatever success may be for you. That counts for trading too, guys, not just building the business. So I'm not going to make this a spiritual development call or a personal development call, but I just want you to know that's 90% of everything. But I'm going to give you the ammunition. I'm going to give you the bullets. I'm going to show you how I went from back to Platinum 1000 to becoming the #1 recruiter during the month of December. and hitting platinum 5,000. I did it all in the same month. I'm a new platinum 5,000. Just happened in December, like the day after Christmas. But how did it happen? So I'm going to give you guys what I'm going to call the 3 phases to explosion. 3 phases to explosion. I hope you guys can see this. Can they see everything on the screen? All the words?
Yeah.
Everything?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So,
a little bit to the right, a little bit to the right. We can only see EXPL. There we go. There we go.
Perfect. Perfect.
Almost. A little bit more, a little bit more. Right there. Hold on. Oh, now a little bit more to the left and you're good. Boom. Good.
Perfect. So the 3 phases to explosion. And you got to go through these phases. Because I'm not somebody who just got into business. I've been a part of iMarketsLive since September 1st, 2017. From September 1st, 2017 to January 2018, I went from 0 to platinum 2,000. Very fresh to network marketing. I wasn't in network marketing for years. I actually come from a rather rough background. I did go to college. I am educated, but I've been through some stuff, guys. I've been at the bottom, like sleeping on my friend's floor, playing 2K all day, though none of us got 2K in our bank account file. Terrible mindset. So you may be starting off with the same background, or you may be starting off with way more than me. But most of us are always going to start in this phase here. The first phase is the newbie phase. Let me write the green. The newbie phase. We all go through it. You start off as a newbie. You start off as a newbie. So I don't know if the person who brought you in this business is this, if this is what they tell you to do, but this is what I tell my people to do. And this is what I've done. This is what I was taught. And this is what I know works. If you want to have instant success, you got to get to platinum 1,000. Right? You got to have that mindset of platinum 1,000. I'm going to give you the phases to explosion. Explosion is how you go platinum 2,000 in 1 month by yourself. 75 plus people, 76 to be exact, in your business in a 31-day time period. I'm going to give you that, but understand that you can put 76 and you can go platinum 2,000, depending on the leg structure, but that's not going to hold for longevity. So you want to kind of follow this phase, these phases. So the newbie phase, you want to make a list. You want to make a written list of people that trust you, like you, and respect you. That's the first thing you want to do, make a list. I would say of 150 names. Think about it. You've been in 2nd grade, from 2nd grade to 3rd grade, new people. Some of the same people you knew, but new people. From 4th grade to 9th grade, you done met a lot of new people. You got to really go back to your memory jogger and think about the people that you've met in this world. It doesn't matter if they have money. It doesn't matter if you think they're going to do it or not. Don't be biased. All they have to do is know you, like you, trust you, and respect you. Write that down. If they know you, like you, trust you, and respect you, their name goes on the list. The next thing you want to do is take them through what we call the PS3 method. No, this is not a PlayStation 3. The PS3 is piquing someone's interest. Hey, all the money that's flown through your bank account in the last 5 to 10 years, how much money have you made off of? Hey, you're a millennial on the line? You don't know a lot of people who even had a bank account for 5 to 10 years? Perfect. You might say something like this. This is the P. This is piquing someone's interest. Pique. Hey, listen. If I told you it's a way we can make money together, from copying and pasting numbers from one app to another app, would you even want to know what apps I'm talking about and how they work? Hey, look, man, it's a few apps I've been using on my smartphone that's making me extra income. I'm about to walk away from my job. I just wanted to share it with you. You want to know what apps I'm talking about? The prospect says yes. The person says yes. Your friend, your family member says yes. What are you talking about? Now, you want to show them the plan. But write this down with the S. Write this down. Put this note. This is very important. You want to be the preview, not the movie. You want to send them a video. You want to get them on a Zoom call. You want to invite them out to a live presentation. One of those three options is how you do the S. That's to show the plan. What am I saying? Send that person a video. Hey, listen. Well, look, are you free for 15 minutes? Yeah, man, I am free for 15 minutes. Perfect. I'm actually going to send you a 10-minute video. What I do is 85% visual. Write that down. That's a nugget. That's real conversation, I say. What I do is 85% visual. You said you were free for 15 minutes, and I'm going to send you this 10-minute Justin Owens video. You know, whatever video you use. Send a 10-minute video, and I'm going to get back on the phone with you in 15 minutes. Is that okay? If they cannot watch the video right now, if they're driving, if they're about to walk into work, they say, just send me the video and I'll call you when I'm done. You don't send them the video. The only way you have permission to send them the video is if you are able to get right back on the phone with them 15 minutes after a 10-minute video, 30 minutes after a 20-minute video, and so on and so forth. But it has to be an appointment set. Once you do that, now you just get back on the phone. You hold up your end of the meeting, you get back on the phone and you say, hey, listen, did you watch the whole video? Hey, listen, were you able to hear everything on the Zoom call loud and clear, and were you able to see everything? They say yes. Perfect. Hold on 1 second. I have a special treat for you. I don't even like to ask permission to do a three-way call. I just say, hold on 1 second. I got something for you. It's special. Hold on. I know you're going to like this. And then I instantly go to the 3. Or if it's somebody you know, let them know, hey, look, I got somebody I want you to talk to. Are you open to it? Because this person's way more qualified to answer questions about what it is that you see. They're really making it happen. And then with the 3-way, once you connect the 2, you got to know how to edify. I got to write that word down. Edification. Edification. If you don't know how to edify, ask somebody. Look it up on YouTube, how to edify. This is speaking highly of others. I could do a whole call on edification, but I'm not going to get into it. With no edification, it goes both ways. You have to edify the prospect, the potential customer, to your leader. But you also got to edify your leader to the customer. But it got to be both. So leader to customer, customer to leader. A lot of people don't do the customer to the leader. The customer, the potential customer, want to hear good things said about them. You have to give them that. Very important. Boom. You just took them through you're doing the newbie phase. 150 names, the law number says you're going to get 1 out of 10 no matter what. Now what happens? Newbie phase. 1 out of 10, 150 names. 1 out of 10, that's 15 people. You're now platinum 600. Out of those 15 people, you identify 5 people who can go platinum 150. 5 people who are going to make a 150 list name do the same thing you just learned how to do. 5 people who can bring in 3. Guess what? That gives you 15 more people. You now hit platinum 1,000. You're now making $12,000 residual for the year as a newbie. As a newbie. So that's phase 1. That was the phase 1. Real quick. I don't want to be long at all. Real quick. Phase 2 is the season phase. This is where you've been doing this for a second now. You done went through a list of 150, but now you're kind of running out of people to talk to. So now you got to start using social media. Now you got to start using Facebooks, your Instagrams, your Twitter, your Snapchat. I got a guy on my team actually just went P1000 at the Atlanta regional event. My boy Pax, shout out Pax, out here in San Diego. Went P1000, but this guy's on Tinder prospecting people. He's using dating apps to prospect people. He's going out and living life. If you write the word go, G-O-A-L, G-O-A-L, go out and live life. Go out and live. Go out and live. go. But you don't go out to prospect. I will never go to a mall to go find people. No. I'll go to the mall to go shopping and prospect while I'm out. Because you gotta have a high level of awareness. When you're seasoned, you're aware that everybody that you come in contact with could possibly be in your business. Everybody that you come in contact with could possibly be in your business. And this is how you're gonna build a warm market. This is how you build a warm market.
Gio, I lost your camera. Give me a sec. See if you can turn the camera on. It got dropped off.
We back?
Yes, sir. You got
perfect. My phone about to die because I've been on the phone all day.
You're good, bro.
Sharing the plan. So listen, that's the season. But one more thing is season. This is number 2 actually. One more thing is season. You gotta start either developing leaders. You gotta start either developing leaders, or if you're the person who is still developing, you're not at the point where you can develop leaders, you gotta plug your leaders in, or your potential leaders into leaders. Developing people into leaders, or plugging these potentials into your leaders. You have to be good at that. You gotta be good at one or the other, or a mixture of both. Guys, that's very important because you are not gonna be able to hit your goals on your own. But real fast, for these next few minutes, let me give you guys a, I guess some people want to hear from me. This is the explosion phase. Once you get to this point, see, you don't have the explosion phase day one, unless you already have, experience in this industry. But you got to develop into that. But once you do, this is how you go platinum 2,000 in 1 month off of personal sponsors. This is serious. Please take notes on this. This is the creative phase. So this is the explosion phase. But in this phase, you could call it the creative phase because you got to become creative. You got to go from just posting about turn your cell phone into a smartphone. You got to post lifestyle. You got to paint pictures. You got to become creative. Guess what? When I was broke, I was still creative. I would go to the Audi dealership, get in the convertible Audi, and go test drive on Facebook Live. I'll show up to the most expensive condo complex in my city downtown and say, hey, I want to see the penthouse, and go Instagram Live. Or turn my phone sideways, make a video, and make an eye move. That's a little nugget for you. Make sure you turn your iPhone sideways. Don't really know how it works with Androids, but I'm pretty sure y'all got something too. You gotta get creative. You gotta get creative. You gotta create content. You gotta create content. It can't just be forex, forex, forex. You gotta build a brand. You gotta have other stuff to talk about. You gotta shift people's mindset. You could do that in so many ways. Make a video on the YouTube page discussing the cash flow quadrant. That should be everybody's homework assignment if you want to get in this explosive phase. Just make content, get creative. And then you want to create creative campaigns. Campaigns are important. Launches, you want to launch something. You want to launch something. So what me and my team did in December, we launched a trading campaign. Like, hey, you know what? We're going to stay up together for 30 days straight, and we're going to study the charts together and try to grow our money. No guarantees, but we're going to basically help all the new people and give you trade ideas that you have the option to take. But we're going to be teaching at the same time. Our top leaders are going to sacrifice Christmas. We're sacrificing the New Year's, and we're doing this for 30 days straight. You got to create some type of campaign that's attractive. Don't lie and mislead people, but make it attractive as possible. And guys, work with the 20%. Because at this time, you probably have a team. So just work with the 20%. Don't be working with everybody. You're going to go crazy. You're not going to focus on personal recruitment. You're going to get irritated because you're going to have people in your business that's not meant to stay in your business. It just is what it is. So work with the people that are showing up. Work with the people who are doing the things that I talked about in phase 1. If they do that, and they're moving to phase 2, you got to be working with them. Because now you got to help them develop other people. You're developing them at the same time. And the last thing I want to talk about is closing. Closing. So I'm going to end this with just doing this is what I did to put in 76 people. I didn't do a lot of live events. Live events may work for you. I'm not saying don't do live. Don't get off the call and go tell your leader or tell your business partners, your fellow IBOs that, man, George Millionaire McCoy said, don't do no, Zoom calls. It's not what I'm saying. That's just not what I was doing because I understood Zoom calls took 20, 30 minutes. I need people to sign up in 5 minutes. I need to get through the numbers. I know my law numbers. I know I average about 4 out of 10 on a bad day. I just got to get through the 10. So I'm using Instagram and I'm using Facebook. I'm going live, I'm creating content, I'm adding new friends are adding me, I'm meeting people while I'm out. I'm not prospecting them on the spot. I'm getting social media. Let's follow my Instagram. And then I just be creative and attractive. Be creative and attractive. That's another word I gotta write up here. With creativity, you gotta be attractive. And I'm telling you, just get them, especially if you're attractive on Instagram. That's my favorite. Be attractive on Instagram, they're going to come to you. You attractive with an attractive campaign, game over. But real quick, here's an example of closing and what I did to get through. Man, I talked to so many people that don't make no sense. I got so many no's, people that didn't answer my phone. Some people even blocked me. But I knew I had to get through the numbers. P2000 with my lifestyle and the things that I had going on personally with my family, that wasn't going to cut it. So at some point I had to become a shark. At some point I had to take this heart attack serious and lock myself in the room for a 30-day period. I took 2 days off within the 30 days. But if you look at my calendar book, 29 days of straight activity. This is heart attack serious right now. So this is how the conversation will go. Hey, listen, Chris, what's up, man? This is George from high school. How's everything going? Cool, man. Look. I don't have a whole lot of time. I'm actually about to walk into the gym and get my workout on, but man, we got something going on in the month of December, bro. I know you'll take full advantage of this. You are about making money and stuff, right? Cool. Look. Listen, do you got like 15 minutes of free time right now? You do? Awesome. I'm actually going to show you what it is that I do because what I do is 85% vision. You got to kind of see it. Okay, so I'm going to send you a 10-minute video. I want you to knock it out real quick. I'll call you right back in 15 minutes. Is that okay? It is? Perfect. You sure? All right, cool. I'm going to send it to you right now. I'll call you back in 15 minutes. Click. Call back. Look, man. Did you watch the information? Perfect. What part stuck out to you the most? What was your favorite part? Awesome. That was my favorite part too. And here's why. You get where I'm going with this? Here's why. I validate their favorite part. I validate the part that they say they like the most. After that, the only question I got now is, hey, listen, do you have any questions for me? You got to know how to close. You got to know the business. You got to understand trading. You got to understand the compensation plan. You got to be able to answer questions or you're not ready for this phase. You're still doing 3 ways with people. Don't rush to this phase. It took me 15 months to get to this phase. This is serious. So don't rush it. But I'm telling you, when it comes, you'll know how to answer any questions that they have. And then the last thing is, hey, listen, well, cool. On a scale of 1 through 3, with a 1 being, you're good doing whatever it is you're doing now. A 2 being, you don't really see the value in multiple streams of income, right? Or a 3 being, you definitely see yourself wanting to get started and join our trading team. Where do you see yourself at a 1, 2, or 3? I don't do 1 out of 10. I don't know what it means when somebody says 7. A 1, 2, or a 3. Perfect. A 3, awesome. Listen, you do have $200 to your name, right? You got to get aggressive and ask people that. Don't be scared to ask somebody that, because you need to know how long you need to stay on this call. If they say yes, you could be on that call another 10 or 15 minutes. Or they got to send in their ID. Perfect, I'm gonna work with you. Oh, the bank situation? Oh, I'm gonna work with you. Oh, you got Wells Fargo? Oh, I'm gonna work with you. We're gonna figure out a problem. You got my attention because I need you in the business this month. I need you right now. Do you get what I'm saying? If they say they don't have the money, find out the day that they do, the day that they will. If they say they don't have a job, they don't know how they're gonna get the money, come up with a solution. Listen, bro, it sounds like you need to come up with 10 people on paper who can loan you $20. I signed up 3 people with that money. I told them to find 10 people who will give them 20 a piece, or 5 people that will give them 40. This is serious. From there, boom, walk them through the application. Hey, listen, are you using a Visa or a MasterCard? Some people would think you can pay cash. You got to find out if they got the money on the card. That's part of closing. Are you using a Visa or a MasterCard? Because right now, I know IML is not taking American Express or Discover. Visa, perfect. Listen, I'm about to send you the application now. Let me know if you got it. I'm sending it right now. No, I don't hang up and say, call me back when you're done. I stay on the phone with them and walk them through the application. That's very important. You got to walk them through the application. And then just walk them through, let them know they got to make up a username and a password that they got to remember. Find out what package they want to get. Let them know the price difference. And if they say something about the monthly fee, just friendly remind them about our scholarship opportunity with just 2 referrals. Or give them realistic expectations on, hey, you may pay a few monthly payments, but eventually you'll start making money trading and you can use your profits to pay your membership. So once you know how to close in that type of way and welcome that person into the group and get them plugged in where they don't cancel in 7 days, you want to keep your people in, get them plugged in, help them find results within their first 7 days, guys. You will have a lot of results, a lot of success. Not only you will go platinum 2000 in 1 month, but you'll also be in that explosive phase where you can go from a platinum 2000 from 75 members on your team to 225 members on your team, because you got other people modeling what it is that you're doing, and a whole lot of people doing just a little bit will help you make a lot of money with IML. So with that being said, thank you so much, Jason Brown, for having me on this call. Big dog, man, I'm super excited. I know I probably went too long, but I felt like they needed this sauce. And I'm in God mode. Chairman is done. We're looking like Chairman 25 in the next 90 days. So we're skipping Chairman. We're not worried about Chairman 10. That's done. That's already happened. I hope everybody that's on this call right now is in Las Vegas, Nevada. March 1st is going down. Events multiply your business. I'm excited. Jason Brown, it's a movie. Thank you so much.
Hey, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to open up the chat box. Let's show a ton of love to Gio in the chat box. Throw some 7s in there, some emojis, some love, some thank yous. And, man, I want to say, you know, a lot of the times people get on here, they get so fired up and excited, and it's a lot of motivation and some really good takeaways. I pay attention on these calls. I take notes on these calls, and I've been reminded of old things, and I've learned a lot of stuff on these calls. I mean, we're always a student, right, at every given time in our life. But what Gio just went over are some of the key foundational principles that are going to help you guys go out and duplicate and create massive momentum in your teams. And remember, you might say to yourself, hey, I already know that, you know, that making a list and PS3 and edification is important, right? I already know about the invite, and I already know about goal setting and all these things. But remember, in this world, it's not just about what we know, right? It's about what we can teach. See, because what we can teach is what our team is going to know, and what our organization is going to know. What our organization is going to know is going to be what elevates us to the next level. And like Gio said, you know, he had to go out and well, if you even look, Riyadh told Gio, hey, you need to know more, right? Teaching his organization, you need to know more. And when you know more, you get bigger, better results. So Gio, absolutely phenomenal training. I took literally 2 pages of notes front and back, going through the 3 phases and your keys to closing. I hope you guys paid attention to that mock phone call he did, because that was absolute fire. So one more time, Gio, my man, that was powerful. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to bring up a young Chairman 10 who I actually got a chance to meet as, I believe, a P600, P1000. I think it was P6. Might have been P1, maybe P1. Back about a year ago, maybe a year and a half, when I was out in London. And I have watched this young man, I mean, like I'm talking like I'm an old dude, right? But I've watched Yasin become one of the strongest pillars in London out of all the leaders. I've watched him be the person who steps up. I've watched him be the person who actually also can step back and hold the load when things get a little bit crazy for people around him. He's also taken initiative. He's got an office. They got a lot of great stuff going on there. And he's a big part of the events and things that happen along with Zain Khan and Ivan Bungbo and Shabazz and all the other leaders. But this guy is a secret weapon inside of iMarketsLive. Last week, he had some family stuff, so we didn't get him, but we got him now. And guys, I promise you, this is going to be exciting. So without any further ado, Yasin, I'm going to make you the host, and the Next Wave Leadership world is excited to hear from you for the next 15 minutes. You are the host, bro. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, Jason. Can you see me clearly?
Yes, sir. We got the matching hoodie gang too. I see you.
We have black hoodies, man. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you for having me on this call. I hope every single one of you guys can hear me. I definitely want you guys to take notes with what I'm about to go through. I know Jason gave me 15 minutes, but before I carry on, in fact, just so that you guys know, I am from London. If you guys find it hard to understand my accent, I do apologize. It's currently 3 a.m. right now here on this side of the pond. Jason asked me kindly to speak to you guys and address the United States audience, and I'm very privileged to be doing this. Only reason is because Jason's played a huge part in order for me to become a chairman. Like he said, I met him actually a year ago. And I'm going to explain my story and how I met Jason, is because this was a key part of me becoming chairman. And I feel like every single one of us on this call, there's actually over 600 of us on this call. I feel like there's a few key takeaways that we could, bring into our business, bring into our marketplace, and for all of us to smash that six-figure rank. So, look, guys, when I started iMarketsLive, I started on the 7th of July, 2017. So this was about a year and a half ago. Now, when I started in the UK, iMarketsLive wasn't as big. It was fresh in the UK. In fact, there wasn't even any chairmen. I believe there was probably only 1 or 2 Platinum 5000s, but they wasn't even known at the time. So when I started iMarketsLive within the UK, there was no social proof. There was no one, to point at and say, hey, listen, this guy's making a ton of money. This guy's built a database of students. These guys are teaching people how to trade. We had no one to look at or point at for mentorship. So when I had started, a mentor of mine known as Shabazz Ahmed, he's actually a Chairman 10 as well. At the time, he was a Platinum 2000. And I asked him, hey, listen, who are the highest earners of this company? Who are the leaders that's leading this company? And all fingers pointed back to Jason Brown, right? All fingers pointed back to, Matthew Rosa, Austin Godsey. These leaders at the time were completely catapulting iMarketsLive to what it is today, but they were setting the trend in the USA. So for myself, I had no contact with these individuals, and what I decided to do was to add them on Facebook, right? I added all of them on Facebook. I started messaging them, just stalking them as much as I could, right? I managed to get their attention and get them on a Zoom call. And, having heard all about them, I told them, listen, I managed to get them on a Zoom call. I told them, hey, listen, look, I know all about you. Let me spend the next 30 seconds explaining who I am, right? And I just edified myself. I blew my own trumpet. I said, hey, listen, Jason, I've been doing events for however many years. This is something I definitely want to take to the next level, but I need you to come down to the UK. And the only reason why it's because I know that the biggest secret when it comes to becoming a chairman, the biggest secret from becoming a 0-figure earner to a 6-figure earner within this company, and the number one fundamental secret is events. Now, I know most of you have probably heard this time and time again, how, events from events, how can this build your business? But believe me, with what I'm about to go through, I'm going to explain why events will completely propel your business. So I explained to Jason, listen, I need you to come down to London. People won't like to see me on stage. There's no social proof. I want them to see you. I want them to meet you. So I said, Jason, Matt, Austin, how many people would I need in the room for you guys to take a 10-hour flight all the way from the United States down to London? And they said, listen, it's not about quantity, it's all about quality. And I said, that's fine, no problem, but just give me a number. Matthew decided to say again, listen, it's not about quantity, it's all about quality. And I said, listen, I respect that, but let me know then, how many people did you have at your previous event, before this one? Before your last event, how many did you have at your last event? And he said, we had 150 people, I think it was in Belgium or something, right? So I said, fine, let's do it, right? I was at Platinum 150 or Platinum 600 at the time. I said, no problem. We're going to have 100 people in London. Book your flights. Let's go, right? So I believe it was on the 23rd of October, 2017. I actually remember the date, right? I dedicated and I committed myself to getting 150 people in one room, right? You know how we always say we speak things into existence. I told myself I'm so happy and grateful now that I have 150 individuals that are willing to learn how to get started into trading, right? And I'm completely new. I didn't even have 150 numbers in my phone book. I didn't even have Instagram at the time. I made Instagram when I became a Platinum 5000. Terrible, I know, bad advice, but I did, right? That's just how it worked for me. I'm not very good on this social media game. So when they were getting close to flying down, what happened? I started doing events, smaller size events, trainings with the team, doing events back and forth in the office. And then what happened was I started smashing ranks. I went to Platinum 1000. Right before the big event that we planned, right before the event that I committed with Jason, Austin, and Matt, I managed to smash the rank of Platinum 2000. So I had a database of 75 students, right? When the event came, guys, I need you guys to understand this. With this event that I had committed to when I started iMarketsLive, when this event came, I became a Platinum 2000, and 10 days after achieving the position of a Platinum 2000, I went straight to Platinum 5000. So I only held the rank of a Platinum 2000 for 10 days. Now, why is that? What was the secret I'm explaining to you guys? It's because events, in fact, what does event stand for? Event stands for something that elevates your vision and eliminates negative thoughts. So I want you guys to write this down, right? I want you guys to take as much notes as possible. If there's anything that you gain from today, take a picture of your notes and tag me on Instagram. You guys can find me on Instagram with my full name. So take this away. What does event stand for? Event stand for something that elevates your vision and eliminates your negative thoughts. So this is what I realized. Okay, cool. If iMarketsLive is going to stamp their footprint within the UK, I needed to do a major event, and that's why I was able to smash ranks. And not only myself, but a large number of people within the team of Traders Empire. So with that being said, that's what events stand for. I need you guys to understand that within this company, whether you're new or whether you've been in the company for a few months or even a few years, you guys would understand when I say this, is that business is always going to be a roller coaster, right? With anything in life, right? Everything in life is a roller coaster. There's ups, there's downs, there's good times, there's less good times, right? And that's what's going to happen within iMarketsLive. But one thing I'm going to tell you is that when you're having a bad day, you will need an event. Whether there's an event in your marketplace or even if there aren't any events, create an event. But whether you're having a bad day, trust me when I say you, my friends, will need an event. And if you're having a good day, here's where the event needs you. Why do I say this? I need you guys to understand. Let's say the way I see our iMarketsLive team is it's like bricks, right? What do I mean by this? Let's say we're all like a brick, right? Let's say if you was to build a wall, you would stack up the bricks until you reach the top, until you reach the ceiling, right? This is the same thing we're doing here. To become a chairman, what we're doing is we're stacking our team until we reach the top, until we reach 500 students. You want our 6-figure earner. You want our chairman 10. The same way, this is what we're doing. So we're stacking up a team one by one, all on top of each other until we reach the top. Now, how many of you on this call, out of 620 plus of us on this call, how many of you feel like if I was to stack up a layer of bricks on top of each other, just a layer of bricks on top of each other, how many of you feel confident enough where you could push the wall of the brick wall over? There's no cement in between. You could just push it over and it'll tumble over. See, I myself am confident. I don't need any big muscles. I could just push it over with one hand and it would fall over, right? See, this is what we're like. See, we're stacking on top of each other, but we could get knocked down easily. We could get knocked back easily. But see, what are events? Events are the cement that binds us together. Events are the cement that glue us together. What do I mean by this? See, when I'm at an event, only a few months ago, I think in December in London, we had the privilege of having Chairman 500, David Imanite, down. Why did people attend that event? In fact, we have over 1,200 people at that specific event with only 2 weeks notice. Why? It's because people were ready to be glued, to be cemented to Mr. David Imanite, Chairman 500. A month before that, we had the privilege of having Ivan Tapia down. People were ready to be glued and cemented to Ivan Tapia. So why do I say go to events? It's because are you ready to be glued to Chairman? Are you ready to be glued to Platinum 5000? Are you ready to be glued to the #1 enroller, Geo? Are you ready to be glued to individuals that are already in here to win big within this company? And see, this is why I attend events. Events is something important for me. Events is something that I will never, ever miss. Ever, ever miss. So I need you guys to understand, events is the cement that binds us together. When we have that cement, nothing can knock you back. Nothing can knock you down. Why? It's because you're glued to a Chairman 500. You're glued to, the Vice President of Field Operations. Does that make sense? So I need you guys to understand, within this company, and I want you guys to write this down, the biggest way to succeed in this business is to focus on the little things. And what do I mean by this? We're so focused on looking at the big things. In fact, Austin Godsey, one of my biggest mentors, he says this best. He said, when you get too big for the little things, you end up too little for the big things. When you get too big for the little things, you end up too little for the big things. You end up too little for the big position of a Chairman 500. You'll be too little for that. Why? It's because you were too big for the little things. What do I mean by this? Let's say, for example, in fact, let me give you guys a story, right? This story is of a famous architect, okay? I really want your full attention in this part. This story is of a famous architect. In fact, there was a famous city, and they really wanted to grow their tourist rate. They really wanted to grow their attraction rate. They wanted people to fly in from all different countries to visit their city. So in order to do this, they came up with a plan to build one of the largest libraries in the world, one of the largest, most grandest libraries in the world. And in order to do this, they had to plan and plan and plan. And what they were doing is they were looking for the best architects that would fit this job role. They were looking for the best architects that will play part into building the biggest, most grandest library in the world. And as they were searching and searching, they managed to find an architect that was very, very hugely overpriced, but someone that perfectly fit that job role. So when they found this architect, they told him, hey, listen, look, we need this to be the most grandest, most magical library. The minute anyone sets foot in this library, they understand that it's magical. They understand this experience that they'll never forget. So this architect set foot forward. He decided to, focus on building this library. In fact, it took him 2 years to plan building this library properly, to make this the most grandest library possible. So after 2 years, he managed to build the library. And what happened? With this library, the minute people set foot in it, it just gave an aura. It was so magical. It was so precious. It was something that people will never forget. In fact, it built the tourist rate within that city. The tourist rate went up so high, I think 200 to 300% above what it was before the library. And after a few years, they started noticing that this library, compared to all the other buildings next to it, started shrinking. The library started shrinking, or it started getting smaller. And, there was theories going around. There was a lot of word or myths going around that this library was truly magical. It was a library that was shrinking every single month, every single year. So they called this a magical library. And then months went past, and then years went past, but they saw the library started shrinking even more. So they started questioning, the people that own the library. There was, the city, the council, they were thinking, what's happening? How is this library shrinking? This might be a problem in the future. Let's look into this. So they started looking into it. They got surveyors. They were researching and researching and researching. They were focusing on all of the big things. And then what did they do at the end? They decided to go back to the architect that built that library. When they went back to the architect, they said, hey, listen, what type of library did you build? How is it so magical that it's shrinking? The architect was baffled. The architect was thinking, I have no idea, right? So he started researching and researching and researching. And then he finally realized that when he built that library, he forgot to take into account the weight of the books. He forgot to take into account the weight of the books that was bringing the library down, that was shrinking the library. So I need you guys to understand, it's the little things that we tend to overlook that's shrinking our business. It's the little things that we tend to overlook that's decreasing our business size, that's shrinking and lowering our business. And this is the reason why I say focus on the little things. Little things like events. See, there's a lot of times where when an event comes in, when there's an event announced in our marketplace, we say, nah, I'd much rather go to a birthday party, or, I've got this, wedding planned, or I've got this dinner planned with my old school friends. Guys, when I tell you guys, the event that you miss, here's one thing I want you guys to write down. The event that you miss, that small event that you miss, is the event that you needed the most. The event that you miss, I promise you is the event that you needed the most. It's these little things that we tend to overlook. So what do we do at events? The reason why I say these little things is because at events is where you network with chairman. At events is where you get the motivation. At events is when I realize I'm avoiding all types of distraction. At events, I realize what these winners do. They avoid all types of distractions. On that topic, I want you guys to focus on the word distraction, right? Why do I speak about events? I want you guys to focus on the word distraction, right? Write it out on a pen and paper. Distraction. D-I-S-T-R-A-C-T-I-O-N, right? Just write that word down. Now, as you write that word down, I just want you guys to focus in the middle of the word. Just focus on the middle part of the word. What's in the middle of the word? Distraction. In the middle part of the word is the word track. Yes, there's no K, but where did that word originate from? T-R-A-C, track. Why is the word distraction existing? It's because a distraction is anything that takes you off your track. A distraction is anything that will take you off your pathway to becoming a chairman. That's what distractions are. So I need you guys to understand, can you be distracted? Can attending an event take you off your track from becoming a six-figure earner? Can attending an event filled with six-figure earners take you off your track on becoming a six-figure earner? And I want you guys to write down all your distractions, anything that takes you off your track. And this is why I say focus on attending an event. Now, what event do I want to speak to you guys about? Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas, Nevada is when every single chairman with this company is going to come together. Is when we have Les Brown, a legend of legends. In fact, your favorite mentor's favorite mentor is attending our iMarketsLive event. We also have Chris Terry, Miss Isis Dillatore. We have Jason Brown, Alex Morton. We have winners upon winners under one roof. This is one event that I'm definitely not missing. And why is that? It's because this event is something that's going to separate you from all the people that want to make, you know, a cute £100, a cute few £100. If you guys genuinely want to be a six-figure earner, you must surround yourself with six-figure earners. I always relate, you know, I'm actually from the United Kingdom, right? How long is it going to take me to get to Las Vegas? It's much harder for me to bring my team to Las Vegas. But what do I tell them? I relate them to apples, right? I tell them, listen, we're all like apples. Now they start laughing. They say, you know, what's Yasin talking about? How can we be like apples? And I tell them, listen, when you have an apple, when you slice open an apple, what do you see inside the apple? What's inside an apple, right? I wish the chat box was open, but I'm going to tell you guys anyway. What's inside an apple? I'm just seeing if I have any apples, I would have taken a bite. But what's inside an apple is about 2 to 3 seeds, right? What happens when you take those seeds and you plant that seed? What happens when you plant those seeds inside an apple? What does it create? It creates an apple tree. What does an apple tree produce? Apples. See, the reason why I relate my team to apples and why I relate all of us to apples is because when you slice up, in fact, put it this way, right? What happens when we attend an event? When we attend an event, our brains are open, our minds are open. What's inside our mind? What we do is when we come back to the UK, when my team comes back to the UK, we plant our seeds. When we plant our seeds, it grows what? More leaders for us to bring to Vegas. What does Vegas do? It opens our mind. What do we do when we go back to the UK? We plant our seeds. What happens when we plant our seeds? We create more leaders. If you guys want to create the biggest empire possible, head to Vegas. I promise you right now, every single one of us that haven't seen Miami, or haven't seen Vegas before, that haven't seen an iMarketsLive International Convention, our minds have not truly opened yet. I promise you, we are all still closed-minded. The minute we step foot in Las Vegas, Nevada on March the 1st, 2019, our minds would be open. We're ready to go back to our marketplace and plant our seeds. So guys, listen, you have to be sold out. If you want to be a chairman, you have to be sold out to attending events. You have to be sold out to never, ever, ever miss events. You have to be hungry. You have to, let me give you guys another story, right, before I finish up. This story is of a fox and a rabbit, right? And how does this story go? This story, look, put it this way. There's this fox, a hungry fox, right? A hungry fox that was so hungry that it wanted to eat anything. And one day it saw a rabbit, you know, running along, right, hopping along. So it decided, okay, cool, I found my meal. I'm going to chase that rabbit. I'm going to eat that rabbit. So what did it do? It started running after the rabbit. It started chasing the rabbit. What did the rabbit do? The rabbit saw the fox, so the rabbit started running, right? The rabbit ran for its life. The rabbit ran so fast that the fox couldn't catch up. And the minute the fox was getting so close, the rabbit jumped in its rabbit hole. So the fox couldn't get it. The fox tried to dig the rabbit out. It couldn't. The fox was too big. So the fox decided, okay, no problem. Tomorrow, I'm going to find the rabbit again. Tomorrow, I'm going to see that rabbit. I'm going to chase that rabbit. So what did the fox do the next day? The fox waited the next day to see that rabbit running along again. The minute it saw that rabbit, boom, it ran. It chased after the rabbit. What did the rabbit do? The rabbit saw the fox and ran again. The rabbit ran for its life. And the minute the fox got close, the rabbit jumped into the rabbit hole. The third day, the fox did the same thing again. It couldn't chase the rabbit. Nothing changed. Nothing changes if nothing changes, right? So the minute the fox got tired, what did the fox do? The fox went to the rabbit hole and said, listen, Mr. Rabbit, how is it that I can't chase you? How is it that you're outrunning me? I'm a fox. How are you outrunning me? And the rabbit looked at the fox and said, listen, Mr. Fox, why are you chasing me? And the fox replied, because I'm hungry. I'm hungry. That's why I'm chasing you. The rabbit said, see, you're chasing me because your hunger depends on it. See, I'm running because my life depends on it. Now, my question for you is, how many of you are building this business because you're hungry? How many of you are building this business because you're hungry for success? But how many of you are willing to hit chairman because your life depends on it? See, if my life didn't depend on me going Vegas, I wouldn't have gone Vegas. If my life didn't depend on me going chairman, I would not have attended Vegas. And that's my question to you. Ask yourself reality. How many of you are doing this because you're hungry? And how many of you are doing this because your life depends on it? Talk about hunger, just to finish this off. Who's at the top of the food chain? The chat box is open. Just tell me, what's at the tip top of the food chain? The tip top, does anyone know? I'm not sure if it's humans. I wish. What's at the top of the food chain is actually sharks, right? If you didn't know, now you know. Sharks. Sharks are at the top of the food chain. And why are sharks at the top of the food chain? Sharks are at the top of the food chain is because they're known for traveling thousands and thousands of miles in pursuit of their prey. Did you know that? Sharks are known for traveling thousands and thousands of miles in pursuit of their prey. Ladies and gents, here's me telling you this. I am a shark. Jason Brown is a shark. Gio is a shark. Ricky is a shark. Bryce is a shark. And why are we sharks? It's because I am willing to travel thousands and thousands of miles to Las Vegas, all the way from the United Kingdom. Why? It's so that my family could eat as comfortably as they want, so that my family could be at the top of the food chain. Ladies and gents, I'm telling you now, are you willing to travel thousands of miles in pursuit of your prey? Are you willing to travel thousands of miles to get what you want? On that note, ladies and gents, I'm going to hand it back to Jason. Tag me in whatever notes you guys made. My name is Yasin.Subhan on Instagram. I look forward to seeing every single one of you on March the 1st. Take care. God bless.
Bro. Oh my. I told you guys you're in for a treat. I wasn't playing around. Like I was not playing. There was no games being played. You guys already know what to do with that chat box right there. Let's show some love to the little bro Yasin. I am like fired up. I'm getting texts on the side, like people are going crazy. You're talking about apples, rabbits, and foxes. You're talking about food chains, and Yasin. Here's the thing. Out of all the takeaways from what Yasin just said, what I look at is the amount of personal development, right? The amount of wisdom. People appreciate, people migrate to people that have wisdom, that can bring new insight to the table. So if you want to position yourself as a leader, because look, 600 plus people on this call just got mad respect from my boy right then and there, right? It doesn't take a long time to build rapport. It doesn't take a long time to get somebody's respect. But you got to have information and knowledge, and you got to position yourself to be that catalyst, right, for other people. And so my whole recap is just going to be this right here. If you didn't take notes, I apologize on behalf of you to you, okay? Because you just missed some incredible stuff. But also, okay, the other takeaway is go out and immerse yourself in personal development. Immerse yourself in success and leadership books, because when you have knowledge and wisdom, you impress people. I'm impressed. And I've known Yasin for like 2 years. This is one of the secret gems of the company. And Yasin, one more time, thank you, bro. That was ridiculous. I'm like fired up over here. So, all right, let's move forward. I'm gonna bring up. Actually, I just met Bryce. Okay, so we're gonna bring up Bryce Thompson right now. So let's show Bryce some love in the chat box. Bryce is 22 years old. Okay, 22 years old. So among a group of young 22-year-old chairmen, I met him for the first time this weekend in Atlanta. Okay, same as Gio. And Bryce told his story on stage, but also talked about his, kind of rise and then fall back down to, just about nothing, and how he framed his mind. And he talked about framing his mind around personal development and accountability and being a leader who stepped up and took responsibility for his organization, not just someone who was plugging people in. He's a visionary. He's a hard worker. He's a Chairman 10 in iMarketsLive, and I'm excited to have him on the call tonight. So we're going to hear from Bryce Thompson right now. Bryce, my boy, if you're out there. Yes, sir. Let's go.
I am on. Can you see me?
Yes, sir. See you, hear you.
Let me make sure that I'm good to go. I'm good
Let's
to go.
work. Yes, sir.
All right, cool, man. Hey, Yasin, Gio, that was fantastic. Me, myself, I even took notes. I took some notes. I hope everybody's taking notes at this point. Appreciate it, Jason, for, contacting me. I actually didn't know if I was getting on this call, but you messaged me. So, hey, I got on, right? So, Gio, just to kind of, piggyback on some of the things the previous speakers just said, Gio kind of went into actually, getting people into business. Like, what do you need to do as far as following up with people, making sure that they're, motivated and, taking this next step in their life. Yasin told us, he gave us kind of like some insight on, some of the key things that can make you very successful in what we're doing, right? Events. I tell my team that, I tell my organization that all of the time. So me, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna basically go into, you know, just like a step-by-step, like blueprint from where you go from actually enrolling somebody to making sure that they're successful, right? So a big term that, you know, a lot of my team, a lot of people use within, you know, within this industry is launch, right? We've kind of redefined it, and, you know, our definitions for launch that we've kind of came up with, me and my leaders, we said that launch is creating success for others that create success for others, right? And it just continues on, right? So basically, I'm gonna kind of go through a blueprint of exactly what that looks like. So the hardest part, Gio kind of went into the hardest part in this industry, at the hardest part as far as, you know, being successful in this business. That's actually enrolling people, right? That's actually getting people to, you know, come into your business, trust you, and, you know, run with you, right? That's the hardest part. Starting is always the hardest part. That's the hardest part in life. That's the hardest part in anything we do, right? Starting, right? You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. It's the hardest thing to do, right? So once they're in, once you've actually got that out the way, and, you know, you've gotten somebody to trust you and enroll into your business, that's where, you know, you want to look to create momentum. That's the next step. You want to create momentum, right? So what does that look like? We're involved. You know, I love this industry, and I love it so much. And I love the fact that this is my first time actually being a part of this industry. Like Jason said, I'm only 22, and I'm glad I had to, you know, this my first experience is this one, right? I'm glad this is my first experience, because what we're doing within iMarketsLive, what we're doing in my specific organization, we're introducing people to the largest financial market in the world, right? And that makes step one after getting people enrolled and coming into your business, that makes that step so much easier. That makes creating momentum so much easier, right? Because the first step, you just want to make sure that people get profitable. You want to make sure that people that what you're telling people about, what you're pushing within your business, you want to make sure that they see it and it works for them, right? That's one of the first steps. Make sure that they get profitable, right? When they get profitable, whether you get them plugged into swipe trades, whether you get them plugged into your team signals chat, right? Whether you get them plugged into really profitable traders where they're able to actually make money, whether or not they know what they're doing or not. The next step, you want to track their success. Track their success with trading. I was telling one of my leaders the other day, when somebody comes in, sometimes what we're doing is Chinese. It's a foreign language to them, right? Sometimes they've never, a lot of people probably have never traded a day in their life. I've talked to, a room full of 100 people and asked, how many people have ever traded in a day in their life? And sometimes nobody raised their hand. So with that, you got to understand the power of what you're doing. What we have on our hands, 7 billion plus people in the world, a large percentage of that 7 billion plus people in the world don't know what it is and have never done it before, right? Take advantage of that. So when somebody comes in, not knowing, not ever trading in their life or never, actually seeing profit, once they're profitable, you want to track it, right? On this day, he made money for the first time. She made money for the first time. Call them on the phone, congratulate them. You made money for the first time, right? You have to create momentum, right? They're going to love that, right? Because they're not in business by themselves, they're in business for themselves, or the other way around. They're in business for themselves, but not by themselves. So when you call them, build that relationship with them, and you say, hey, we're in the blue, we're making money. Congratulations on making your first $10, your first $20, your first $200, right? They'll remember that forever throughout this whole entire journey. That's creating momentum. The next step, all right? The next step, once they make money, it goes from, you actually introducing them something to you guys actually working together, right? So once they make money for the first time, that's when we can start to launch. I've created success for you, right? I introduced you to something that you may have been skeptical about or something that you may have not been familiar about. So at that point, let's launch. Let's create success for others. Just like I created success for you, you can do the same for somebody else. Even though that you may have not been familiar with, what I was doing before you did it, now we can do that for somebody else, right? Just as easy as it was for you to make money, it could be as easy for 1,000 plus people in your network, in your village, in your community, in your college, wherever you work. It could be just as easy for them, right? So at that point, that's when you want to set goals for them. You want to help them set goals for themselves, right? That could be, hitting platinum 150 in the first week. That's what I do, right? From the day that somebody makes money, I'm telling them, hey, it's a goal for you in this next week. hit the first rank of Platinum 150. I say Platinum 150 that's not even the first step. That's you actually putting on your shoe. That's you lacing up your tennis because now you're getting ready to run, right? Platinum 150. So look, what does that look like? Sometimes when somebody makes money for the first time, I told my team this yesterday, hey, tell them to make a list of 25 to 50 people. Make a list of 25 to 50 people. Of course, they could probably make a list of way more people, but hey, make a list of 25 to 50 people that may be interested or that you may know that would want to make money just as easy as you did, right? Of those 25 to 50 people, we don't have to reach out. We don't have to reach out to them. We don't have to hit them up on Instagram. We don't have to call them. We don't have to, reach out to your best friend from middle school. We don't have to do none of that, right? They'll come to you. They'll come to you. That's when you have to start marketing yourself. You have to start marketing your brand. Do not reach out to those people, and you can if you want to, if you got personal relationships with them, right? You don't have to reach out to them, but you want to keep them in mind as you're building your brand, as you're pushing this new product, as you're pushing this new business venture that you're doing, right? Of those 25 to 50 people, you'll look and you'll see, and this is what I've seen within my organization. Of those 25 to 50 people, the first three people that come into your organization, they're going to be on that list. They're going to be on that list. Psychologically, you're going to be, whether it's posting on social media, whether it's things you're doing in your community, whether it's the way you're moving, you're going to cater to those people that's on that list naturally. Sometimes you just got to write it down. Naturally, you're going to cater to those people that's on that list. And at least 3 of them will be the first 3 that come into your business. I kid you not. So look, the next thing, after someone hits Platinum 150 in your organization, I told my team this yesterday. You want to identify leaders in your organization. Look, you can have several leaders. You can have several leaders in your team, your organization, company, whatever you want to call it. But it's you want to focus your time and energy on those that are running with you. You want to focus your time and energy on those that are thinking the way that you are, right? So let's look at it like this. I don't like using the word legs. I don't like using the word 3, categories, whatever you want to call it. I like using organizations, right? So, within your business, you have 3 different organizations. You have 3 different organizations, right? In those 3 different organizations, you want to identify at the very minimum 1 leader. You want to identify at least 1 leader. You want to focus on that leader, right? And when I mean focus on that leader, you want to promote that leader. You want to get that leader to the next step. You want to get that leader to making more money. You want to get that leader to launching and creating leaders themselves, right? At some point, you want your business on standby. You want your business growing each and every day, whether you're working or not, right? So when you're creating leaders, right? So let's say, you bring somebody in, you've created momentum, they're Platinum 150. The next step, you have to get them to understand level up season, right? It's level up season. You hit Platinum 150, you got your shoes tied. It's time to level up because you can't just stand in your shoes for too long. It's time to get running, right? So what's the next step? Platinum 600. That's your first step. That's your first step. That's when you're in gear, right? Platinum 600. You are in gear. When what I tell my team and what I tell people that come into this business, I tell them to understand you cannot be scared. You cannot be scared of more responsibility. You cannot be scared of more attention. You cannot be scared to put yourself out there a little more. Most people that fail in this business, that fail in this industry, they're scared. They're scared to fail. They're scared to fail. They don't want to post things on Instagram. They don't want to see their friends posting and doing new things because they don't want their friends to see them fail. So they shy away from going all in, right? They shy away from going all in. They dab their feet in the water just because they don't want to see they don't want other people to see them fail just in case. So, right, just in case I fail, I'm only going to dab my foot into this. I'm not going to go all in, right? Because if I go all in, I'm going to be humiliated, right? If I go all in, I'm going to be humiliated. But if I dab my feet, if it doesn't work, I can just tell them, hey, I was just trying it out. That's what people do. And I'm here to tell you, and I've seen it so much, people are so scared to throw themselves out there and to be vulnerable to the public and to their friends. Those are the people that will not win. You either all in or you all out, period. You're either all in or you all out. So when people hit Platinum 150 or Platinum 600 in my organization, I tell them you in or you out. You running with me or you're not. Because it's level up season. Now we all in. So when you hit Platinum 600, like Yasin said, this is something I stress to all of my Platinum 600. It's time to start throwing events. It's time to start getting you in front of a room, right? It's time for people to start seeing your face. It's time for people to start knowing what you're doing. It's your grand opening. This is your grand opening to your new business, right? What do events look like, right? Yasin kind of, you know, he went into why events are important, but I'm gonna tell everybody that's on this call, everybody that's listening to me, I'm gonna tell you exactly what events look like, right? Me personally, I'm in college. A lot of my friends, you know, me and my friends, we used to throw parties, right? We used to throw parties, and it's crazy because when we threw parties, 100 people used to show up, 200 people used to show up. We used to pack houses out. We used to pack houses out, people dancing, having fun in college, you know, doing things they probably weren't supposed to. We used to have a lot of fun, right? So look, I translated that. I translated the, you know, the way we used to throw parties and the way parties were so successful into my business, into the way we need to throw events, right? So if you think about it, you know, at these parties, and you've probably been to parties and people have a whole bunch of people having a good time, what they like to do, they like to, it's all about energy. It's all about the energy in the room. It's laughter, it's happiness, it's music, people are dancing, people are, you know, are having a good time, you know, shaking each other's hand, meeting new people. That's the same way you need to host your event. Just like when we used to host parties, we used to make flyers, promo videos, have, you know, influential people posting the party flyer, all of this nature, just to make sure that we had a lot of people at our party, so we seemed cool. So people looked at us like the cool guys on the block, right? So look, with events, I translated that over, and you can do it too. When you host events, you want to treat them just like a party. You want to create the energy in the room, right? You want to make sure that the flyer is lit. You want to make sure that the flyer is lively. It looks like, hey, these guys on these flyers, this is going to be a really good party. You want to make sure, this is something that I do. Hey, if I'm having an event at a college, I ask the people at the college, hey, who's the best DJ at this college? Who's the top DJ? Who's the most respected? Who has the most influence? Who's that DJ that, you know, if they see the DJ on the flyer, that's the party they're going to? Who's that guy? I find that guy, and I'm like, hey, let's DJ this event. I need music at my event because I need the energy high. Right? Another thing, visual content. Visual content is super duper important. As you level up, you need to be on camera. If you're not on camera, it didn't happen. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Back in the, you know, the old days in the 90s, 70s, 80s, 60s, they don't have the technology we did, right? So things they did, you know, if we don't see it on the picture, it's only just word of mouth. Mom, I don't know if you did this back in the day, but I'm just gonna go off my trust in your word. Now, if it's not on picture, if it's not on social media, if it's not on Instagram, if you don't have a video of you doing it, it probably didn't happen, right? And you want to make sure that you track your success. And this is something that I actually learned from Riyadh, Gio's mentor. This is something that I learned from Riyadh when I was a Platinum 5000, trying to figure out what I needed to do to get chairman. He told me I need to start tracking my success, right? And that goes into visual content. You need to make sure that you put everything on camera. So when you're throwing an event, just like you're promoting a party, have a promo video for your event. Build up the momentum for that event. Get as many people in the room. Yasin told you guys why it's so important to have events. Seeing is believing. Sometimes, you know, you can see me on the other side of this camera, but you don't know me. You don't know me at all. You don't know me from a hole in the wall, right? You don't know me at all. My name is Bryce Thompson. You can follow me on Instagram, but you still don't know me. All you see is an African-American guy on the other side of the camera. So when I go to events and they see me on the flyer, it's like I'm an urban myth. It's like you're an urban myth because they're like, hey, that's the guy on the flyer, right? Their belief system, it rises to a certain percentage, right? Their belief system could have been here, but when they actually meet you in person, when they meet that person on the flyer for the first time at this event, their belief system already has risen, right? So when they see you at that event, you know, showing them the plan, talking about your business, talking about the things that you do, they're automatically like, oh my gosh, this is real. This is real. Whether they have seen it, whether they've done it for themselves or not, it's their belief system rises even more. It rises even more. That, you know, you want to connect people emotionally. emotionally and mentally, right? There's a physical and mental side to this. It's a physical and mental side to this, right? So look, that's when we hit the next rank of Platinum 1000. We hit the next rank of Platinum 1000. At Platinum 1000, I tell people, hey, you know, we're at Platinum 1000. You know, your responsibility has risen even more. The things that I've been telling you, now it's your job to start telling your leaders. It's your job to start identifying more leaders within your organization. More leaders within your organization. It's time for you to stop relying on your upline. It's time for you to stop relying on your upline for every single thing that happens within your business, right? Every single thing that happens within your business. Like Yasin said, you know, he was one of the main leaders, you know, in his area in London. You know, he couldn't rely on another chairman 10, right? He couldn't rely on another chairman 10. You know, in a sense, that's how, you know, it's almost like a blessing and a curse, because it forces you to take on leadership roles that you're not used to, right? So whether you have another chairman as your upline on speed dial that you can leverage, sometimes you need to learn how to just figure it out, right? You need to learn how to figure it out. You need to learn how to, you know, hit bumps in the road. This is something I told my team the other day. Everybody has a different path. You can take the rocky path or you can take the really smooth path, right? I'd rather take the rocky path because I know, you know, I'm going to hit different rocks during my path. I'm going to hit different rocks. But when I hit different rocks, I'm going to know what to do at each rock, because I still have to continue going straight, right? And I want to pick the rocky road because in the event that somebody comes in my business and they have to take that rocky road as well, I'll know what they need to do at different places in their journey, right? You hit this rock, you need to jump over it. Oh, that's the rock you need to jump over. You hit this rock. Hey, this is the rock you need to walk around. You hit this rock, just kick that rock to the side, right? So I'll choose the rocky road before anything, because I'd rather fail for the rest of the people that come after me. I'd rather fail for the rest of the people that come after me. I don't want a clean slate. I'd rather fail for the people that come after me just so I can cut their journey in half. All the mistakes that I make along the way, I'm gonna make sure that you don't make them. And that's the thing that you need to instill in your new leaders, in your Platinum 1000, your Platinum 2000s. As they elevate, let them know, I don't want you relying on me for, you know, at this point. I don't want you relying on me with everything I do. If I can't get on to close a whole room for you or close a call for you, you need to learn how to start articulating the information. You need to start learning how to articulate your business so you can do it for your team, because I may not always be available. And this show has to move. This show has to move, right? And it continues on. It's just a new wave of leadership. Me personally, I just hit the esteemed position of Chairman 10 back in November, right? And I had to understand, right? Because I had Spiller. I had Dr. Raphael Spiller as one of my, my chairman upline at the time. He's a chairman 50, right? He's a chairman 50. He's not a chairman 10. He's a chairman 50, right? So he kind of has to backtrack and understand what. Sorry, I was getting a call. He has to backtrack and understand what my role needs to be as a chairman 10. So me personally, I'm glad that I'm in this position, because it's like I'm creating a new wave for my organization. I'm creating a new way you need to move as a chairman 10 in my organization, because I'm moving, it's almost like I'm creating leadership of my own, right? So as a chairman 10, there's things that I've been doing. Everybody should choose that route. Last thing I want to say. So I touched on skepticism being a catalyst for missed opportunities, right? And this is the last thing I'm gonna touch on, right? Skepticism being a catalyst for missed opportunities. I tell so many people that, get on a call with me, that, actually listen to me speak, that want to, find out about my business. I tell them that just because so many people miss out on opportunities because of just pure skepticism, things they don't know, ignorance, right? Ignorance. So I tell them, I like to put things in perspective, and I think putting things in perspective, kind of like Yasin did, Yasin. Did I say it right? Yasin. Kind of like Yasin did. He gave us so many different analogies and, put things in a perspective of why people think the way that they do, right? So I like to use the, the example of cryptocurrencies, right? Bitcoin. Let's use Bitcoin for example, right? Bitcoin went public in 09, 08, something like that. I think it was 09, right? At the time when it went public, it was less than 25 cents a coin. It was less than 25 cents a coin. And so many people that, you know, find out about it or heard about it probably thought it was stupid. How can somebody, you know, create their own currency for people to buy and exchange things? That sounds stupid. It sounds like a scam, right? Why would I invest in that, even though it's only less than 25 cents a coin, right? But those people that were not skeptical saw an opportunity for what it was. And just in case, you know, let me go ahead and invest. Let me invest something. Those people that invested as little as $100, they're probably not on this call anymore. Bill, those people that invested as little as $100, they're probably, you know, too busy to talk to any of us, right? Because they invested as little as $100. Bitcoin around this time last year rose up to almost $20,000 a coin. Those people that didn't invest, that knew about it, and while it was less than 25 cents a coin, are sick. They're sick to their stomachs because they were they were skeptical. They let skepticism, you know, keep them from a huge opportunity, right? I also like to tell this story, and this will be my last story, right? This is, you know, a story my brother taught me back when, you know, I was actually coming into this. He told me about the story of the man in the boat. The man in the boat, right? So, you know, it was this man and his family. They were on an island, right? You probably heard the story before, but it was, you know, it was a man and his family, right? They found out that a storm was coming. They found out that a storm was coming to their island, and it was going, you know, people were telling it's going to wipe out their whole you know, village or whatever, right? And his family is like, you know, we need to leave. We need to evacuate this island because this storm is going to completely wipe us out, right? So the man is like, you know what? I'm going to hold down the fort. I'm the man of this house. I'm going to take care of the house while you guys evacuate. God got me, right? God got me, right? So his family leaves, and of course the storm comes, and, you know, it starts, the water starts rising, you know, up to his doorstep, right? The storm starts rising up to his doorstep. Cool. He's cool with it. He's like, you know what? I'm good. God got me. I'm not worried. I'm just going to continue to hold down the fort. My family's good. I know they're safe, right? So the storm, you know, the water starts coming into his living room. Storm starts coming into his living room. And he looks out, you know, into the, you know, the front yard, and there's another family. They're on a boat. They're on a boat, and they're like, hey, you know, come on. You know, this storm is going to wipe you out, right? He's like, no, just leave. I'm good. God got me, right? God got me. So the storm continues on. It continues on. And, you know, now he's on his kitchen counter, right? It's risen up to his whole kitchen counter. He's standing on his kitchen counter, and another boat comes by, right? Another boat comes by, right? He's like, God got me. I'm not going to go with you guys. I'm good. God got me. I'm going to continue to hold down my fort, my family. I'm going to do this for my home, right? I'm the man of this house. Storm continues on. It continues on, right? It continues on. He's on his roof. The water has risen, and his house is completely submerged in water. It's completely submerged in water. At this point, he doesn't even know what to do. He doesn't know what to do. But a helicopter comes by. A helicopter comes by. They throw down the letter, like, hey, man, come up. You know, this storm, you're going to die. You're going to die out here. And he's like, I'm good. God got me. God got me, right? So, you know, unfortunately, the man ended up dying. He ends up dying. He goes to heaven. You know, he sees God. And he's like, God, I thought you had me. I thought you had me. What happened? I thought you got me, right? And God's like, I sent 2 boats and a helicopter. I sent 2 whole boats and a helicopter. What do you mean I didn't have you, right? And I say that to say, so many people are wishing and praying for an opportunity to come their way, and they don't take advantage of it. They don't take advantage of it. So many people are wishing and hoping and praying for opportunities to come their way to change their life, and they don't take advantage of it. And that's what I tell people, and that's why I put things in perspective for people to understand that their skepticism is going to continue to keep them away from the opportunities that are going to change them and their family's life. I appreciate it, Jason.
Sheesh. Let's go. Another one. Yo, these calls are crazy. And I'm sitting here getting more motivated than ever. So let's show some love in the chat box for Bryce. He shared a ridiculous amount of information and a lot of wisdom, right? That last story, I've actually never heard that before. And that is unbelievable. Like, I'm You know, Bryce, you gotta break that down so I can share that, bro, because that's like, that alone just get people to understand. And look, at the end of the day, all of us have an opportunity, but you gotta go out. You can't just sit back. And I tell people all the time, you can't just sit back and pray and be obedient and all this stuff and then expect to have success because you're a good person, right? God will reward good people, but you gotta put in work. Nothing in life is just gonna come. So let's show some love to Bryce. That was a phenomenal training from top to bottom. And what I want to do right now is get straight into Ricky Valdez, one of the newest chairman 10s in our company. And guys, most of his group, okay, I know we've been on here for a little bit, but these calls are ridiculous. Like, the value is so good that usually they go like an hour, hour and a half, and it's worth every single second of the time because of the amount of information and value. So Ricky Valdez, brand new chairman 10, he hit it last week, had an event. The night that he hit it, okay, the night that he hit it, he had an event like 800 people in El Paso, Texas. Okay, most of his group is in El Paso, Texas. This guy, I've actually known Ricky now for 3 years. Okay, Ricky was one of the first customers that I even enrolled into iMarketsLive. Took some time off, you know, focused on trading from that point forward, came back to iMarketsLive 2 years ago and just hit chairman 10. His story is incredible, but I want him to really focus on culture. We were talking about, you know, Ricky's like, look, what should I talk about? And I said, look, your team, your culture, the spiritual connection, the real glue in your group is something that people need to understand. Because Bryce touched on this, right? Going the extra mile and building relationships, right? Actually connecting with people and making that phone call when they have a small little win, small little achievement. Well, that's what Ricky's whole business is based upon, is real friendships, real relationships. So guys, we're going to end off this call with an absolute bang. Now I'm going to bring my brother, Ricky Valdez, up to the main stage. Ricky, can you hear me, bro?
Loud and clear. Can you hear me, boss? Can you see me?
Hear you. We're working on it. Boom. Good to go, bro. Take it away.
What's up, bro? How's everything? Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, sir. And
Cool.
I am blessed. Let's go.
Boss, I appreciate you having me on. I'm so grateful. I'm so blessed. You know, just for you to give me the chance, you know, everything that you've done, I appreciate you, bro. If y'all see me looking at my phone, I'm going to let everybody know right now, I might be a chairman 10, but I'm a trader above everything, right? Jason didn't let y'all know. We also swipe trading out here, right? Undefeated. So I appreciate everybody on that platform. But I'm a trader before anything, right? I still, you know, got to write things down. I'm not this crazy, you know, person that knows how to build these huge teams. I mean, I guess now I am, right? But man, when you hear my story and when you see me talking to you, believe in yourself, because that's what it really takes. I'm letting you know right now, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I've always been the underdog. I've never been counted in. I've always been counted out. Last person, always picked. I'm the last person you would have thought that I'd be doing anything like this. You know, so when you look at me and you hear the way I speak, I've worked so much on myself. But I want to give a shout out real quick to a few of my people, right? I want to give a shout out to my sponsor, Chairman 50, Mr. Darwin Lopez. It's like if Dr. Dre found, you know, Eminem in a way, right? So I appreciate Darwin. I want to give a shout out to Gustavo Alanis, Mr. Wealthy Pips. That's my brother. I got you for life. And last but not least, I want to give a shout out to my city of El Paso. What's up, guys? I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much for, you know, the love and the support, because what we're doing in this city is so amazing. It's a movement, right? But let me give you guys the nuggets. I have an online mentor, never met this person, but I heard one day he said, you got to believe much bigger, much sooner. I studied him before I was even in IML, before I even built. I want everybody to understand that when I came into IML, I came as a customer. I just wanted to learn just how to trade. But I had said, believe much bigger, much sooner. So when I made the decision to go out and build this business on a chairman level, I said, I'm going to believe as big as I can. I'm going to believe as much as I can. I'm going to believe much bigger, much sooner, right? So, you know, I'm going to let y'all know I'm not the best speaker, but hey, my walk does the talking for me, right? But there's certain things that we have to do when it comes to building this culture. There's certain things that we have to focus on when it comes to, you know, building this thing, taking it to the next level, both internally and externally. I also want to give a shout out before I forget to the other chairman that came on here, man. I appreciate everybody, everything that you guys do. But I want everybody to write this down. I want everybody to have a long-term vision and a bulletproof mindset because that's what it really takes at the end of the day. Write this next nugget down. People don't join companies, they join movements. They join movements. You have to start a movement wherever you're at. I knew ever since I started to build this business that I was going to make such a big impact and that I was going to leave a legacy. And most importantly, I was going to create a movement that nobody has ever seen before, right? So think about Gandhi, movement. We just celebrated Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. What did he do? He created a movement. People don't join companies, they join movements, right? And I'm going to tell you guys one nugget. You have to let your example be the biggest training. You see, I'm not the best trainer. I mean, I do my best for my group, so I appreciate everybody. But, you know, I study Austin Godsey. I study Christopher Derrick. They're effective speakers, amazing speakers. But me, I lead by example. I let my example be the training, right? What I do on a day-to-day basis, because the pace is set by the leader. Right? I'm going to tell you all a story about Gandhi, right? There was a story and you know, there was a mom that took his son to Gandhi, right? And he said, hey, or the mom went to Gandhi and traveled and said, hey, I need you to tell my son to stop eating so much sugar because it's dangerous. Gandhi said, hey, bring him back in 30 days and then I'll help you out. 30 days passed by and then the mom brought the son to Gandhi. And then that's when Gandhi said, son, you got to stop eating sugar. It's bad for you. And the mom said, man, you told me to wait 30 days for you to come, for me to bring my son here. You could have just told him that same day. And he said, I was eating sugar 30 days ago. You see, you can't tell anybody anything to do if you haven't done it first, right? You have to lead by example. You have to be the example. You see, Gandhi, he had a peace protest with silence, right? At that same time, a reporter asked him, do you have a message for the West, for our side, right? This is on the other side of the world. And on a paper he wrote, he said, let my life be the message. And in August 1947, what happened is he freed the nation of India. It's something that hadn't been done for 200 years. He didn't use the military. He didn't have any money. He didn't even use politics. It was a movement. So I'm going to tell you right now that it starts with you. You need to create a vision that's big enough for everybody to be able to fit in. I'm from El Paso, Texas, right? Not a lot of hype out here. Not a lot of big superstars out here. It's about to happen though, trust me. The city's barely growing, less than 1 million people. But hey, I said, there's every reason, there's every single, people say so many things, oh, we can't make it happen here. Oh, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna let y'all know, most people actually leave my city because they say there's no opportunity. I said, we about to put on for the city. We're about to create the biggest movement that has ever been seen. That's what we're doing right now. We literally have the whole city backing us up. And it's one of the most amazing feelings that I've ever felt, just to know that in my own hometown, you guys, I used to be a server at Dave and Buster's. I used to ask you if you wanted a refill of your water. I'm letting y'all know you got to believe much bigger, much sooner. I used to wait tables. And now we got the whole city trading. We got the whole city in the movement and it's blowing up every single day. That's what I did. I said, man, there's almost about 1 million people in here. We could pop a couple chairman of hundreds. Everybody was leaving. I said, no, we got to create the opportunity right here. It's crazy. It's amazing. Listen, you're building a family. People don't care how much you know until they understand how much you care. My team, that's my family. That's my family. Like, we have a special relationship. We have, I mean, there's so many of us, right? but we try to have lunch together as much as we can. I bring a whole lot of my team to church with me. You know, this is a reason why a lot of our people are going to church now. We all try to do activities. It's so amazing what's happening, right? But we're a family, most importantly. Love your team, care for your team. Everybody's little brother, little sister, big brother, little sister, uncle, aunt, right? Second mom, third mom, whatever you want to call it. Make your team your family, love them, and appreciate them. If you really, remember, I'm a trader, but if you really want to build this business with the residuals that you want to have, the people is the reason why you're going to get to these chairman ranks. Love your people. Show them unconditional love. They deserve it. You want to earn this business, these 6 figures, man, you got to show your team love. That's how it is, right? So I'm going to give you guys a nugget. You need to create an environment for your group. You need to create an environment of positivity, an environment where you set the bar so high, excellence, right? You see, my city is a negative city, right? My city is a city where a lot of, you know, things are changing now, and I'm so grateful, but, you know, people kind of hate on each other, and, you know, kind of a lot of people know everybody. It's very negative. A lot of people doing not the best things. And I say, hey, we're going to back this up by a lot of spiritual growth. We're going to back this up by a lot of personal growth. We're going to back this up, and we're going to build a place where we're going to take, I have a lot of young guys on my team. Shout out to my young family. We're taking a lot of these kids out the streets. It's crazy. There's, you know, I know this is going to be recorded, but we're literally taking these kids out the streets instead of out there dealing whatever they got to deal. We got young 18-year-olds reading books, not partying no more, listening to personal development. It's not just a trading movement. It's not just a IML movement. It's a change your life movement. It's something so much bigger than just money. If you want to build a solid foundation, and if you really want to blow this up to the next level, you got to do it. Jason, they don't even know that we are more than halfway to Chairman 25, right? We're going to get it. But I'm letting you guys know, this is what you got to do. Create the environment, build your people, and they will build the business. I want you all to understand that going on to the next point, you have to be willing to sacrifice everything. I've been to every convention. I've been to every event. I've been to every presentation that I said that I was going to be at, every one-on-one, every single launch. I remember Mr. Darwin Lopez Gustavo used to live out in Arizona. I saw that Matt Rosa was going to be in Arizona. I risked everything to go. I saw Alex Morning was going to be in Arizona. I risked everything to go. Convention, Miami, Vegas. I remember no money in my pocket. I never made excuses. You can either make excuses or you can make results, and I'm down to make results all day, every day. I'm letting y'all know you have to sacrifice everything, but it's much bigger than just sacrifice, right? Because only with sacrifice and willing to go all out and willing to do whatever it takes, this is your chance and this is your test. Your test becomes your testimony, but this is God watching you. This is the universe watching you. You got to go out and sacrifice, and you got to fight and fight and fight because God is watching. He's saying, let me see if this person is worthy of greatness. The universe is watching. Let me see if this person is worthy of greatness. If I give this person all this success, is he worthy of it? If I bring all these people to this person, will he do whatever it takes to go all out for them and help them see success and never, ever stop? You got to sacrifice everything. That sacrifice is like a pact that you're making with the universe and with God. Does this make sense? I hope this is powerful for everybody, but sacrifice. You got to sacrifice. You got to sacrifice. On to the next point. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Your vibe attracts your tribe. You got to become an incredible person. You got to become an amazing person. Write this down. Your goal is to become the best version of yourself in every single way. Physically, spiritually, mentally, in every single way, emotionally. Because people look at that. People are looking, who am I doing business with? They're not just going to want to do business with this undeveloped, unprofessional person. No. I'm going to tell you guys one more thing. If you want to attract, I have a lot of amazing leaders. Shout out Mr. TJ, right? Mr. TJ Wooder out there, man. Amazing people. I've been able to attract amazing people into my business. How was I able to attract these people? Because I'm focusing on becoming the best version of myself that I can be, right? Your job is to become the best version. Work on yourself in every single aspect. It's not just external, it's internal, right? But another key, you need to become truly self-employed. I see a lot of lazy people out here. You need to be your best boss and your best employee, right? A lot of people maybe right now are still employees, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're working towards greatness. I believe in you, right? But if you go out there and you want to be, and you're the best employee out of your work, why aren't you the best employee for your own business? You got to be the strictest boss, and you got to be the best worker, right? Hold yourself accountable every single day. I'm gonna give you guys a nugget though. I don't care if you're a chairman 100. I don't care if you're a chairman 50. Baby, you got to learn how to trade. People come in to trade, right? It's just how it is. But if you're going to be talking to people, letting them know that, hey, you come in here, hey, you gotta do your effort. You can't just use just the system. Our business, our movement that we're creating is because there's real results in trading. My team, our team in our city, we really trade. We got 18-year-olds that are having comma days, 18-year-olds having comma days. Does that make sense? That's the only reason why this is actually possible, because everything is backed up by trading. It's trading first, building second. But hey, we got to chairman. It's crazy, right? Stay in phase one always. Taproot. I'm not gonna cover that. Taproot. It was already covered. Taprooting, promoting events, right? And this is the last thing that I have for everybody. And I hope that this is the most powerful thing, right? This isn't the point of how to actually help people develop a long-term vision when it comes to trading. Because I'm a trader, I have to give you guys some trading nuggets before I get off, right? You guys want to know the most important thing when it comes to trading? When you help somebody realize this one little key, I promise you that they will stick through the roughest patches when it comes to trading. It took me a year and a half of every single day grind, going through everything to get this down. I made so many sacrifices. I put in so much work. And there was so many times where I was like, man, I just want to quit. I just want to quit. I just want to quit. And when I made it happen, I said, I'm going to do whatever it takes to help my people understand that it takes time. And so this is how you approach trading. The most important thing when it comes to trading is actually losing. Losing is the most important thing when it comes to trading, and it's your job and it's your duty to help your people understand this. It's your job and your duty to help your people understand this. Losing is by far the most important thing when it comes to trading, right? Teach your team how to lose. Ladies and gentlemen, we are participating in the most volatile market, the forex market. People are gonna lose. Equip your people, your family, with how to lose, right? I have it written down right here. Losing should be seen as the price of doing business. If you own a business and you have to pay the light bill, you're not gonna see that as losing. You're actually gonna see that as and it should be looked at as necessary in order for the business to succeed. Losses are lessons, right? You paying the light bill isn't losing money, right? It's a necessary component when it comes to succeeding in this business. Losing is really learning. Learn to lose. You can lose more than you win here and still come out on top. Listen, right? Losing is so important. When you lose, this is the perfect opportunity to see what you did wrong. Losing, even this is in life. Losing provides you with the biggest opportunity for you to be able to improve. I'm going to share with you what I did, right? I created an Excel sheet and I tracked everything, every single trade, the date, the pair, the entry, the order type, the entry, the stop loss, the reward, right? The reason why, screenshot before, screenshot after. And I lost. I can't tell you how many accounts I've blown. Yes, myself, right? I've blown accounts and a lot of them, right? Things changed as we went. We learned how to lose, right? And so what I did is I started seeing, okay, I lost. Okay, this is what not to do. I lost in this trade because of this. This is what not to do. I was excited to lose because losing, if you look at it the right way, losing equals progress. You just have to see it in the right way. And so what happens is you're going to end up taking so many L's. And at the end of the day, you're going to know what not to do. Then you're going to be able to create a system. You're going to say, this works, this works, this works, this works, this works. But it's your job and it's your duty to teach your team and equip them with that mindset that losing is progressing, because it really is. And when you let your team know that they can lose more than they win, they get so excited. Think about it like this. I used to play baseball in college, right? I used to play baseball. I was a pitcher, right? But in baseball, in Major League Baseball, you can go up to bat 10 times. 10 times. You can strike out 7. That means that you only got on base 3 times out of 10. And in the major leagues, you can still make millions of dollars batting a 300 average, meaning that you only got on base 3 times out of 10 times. In trading, teach your team this as well. In trading, you should only risk 1% of your account, and you should win 3%. 3 to 5% is what I teach my team. I tell them, you're only going to lose 1% of your account, but when you win, you're going to win 3 to 5. Think about this. Let's say you do 1% loss, 3% gains. You can go out and win 4 out of 10, right? That means that you won 4 and you lost 6, right? So it's a 12%. It's a 12% gain, right? 3, 6, 12. Then when you lost, it's 6%. So guess what? If you add that, you still came out on top. That means that you lost more than you won, and you still came out on top on your trading account. That's the only math in trading. It's called statistics, right? Teach your team how to lose. Teach your team how to lose, and I promise you that they will stay and they will see the long-term vision and they will be well-equipped, right? When you don't teach your team how to lose, they lose and then they give up. People give up when they lose in trading. They're not used to failure. But if you just teach your team how to lose, not only will you be able to create one of the most amazing movements that you've been able to create, but you will really teach people how to be here long-term. You see, I love IML. I'm forever 100% IML. It's just been such an amazing blessing. The residuals are great, but at the end of the day, that's not even what I'm after. I'm after teaching people the real skill set. When you teach somebody how to lose, you're not just teaching them something. You're showing them how to be in their trading journey long-term. Our job is not just to show people how to trade and just make all these residuals and whatnot. Our job is to show them how to trade and keep them here long-term so they can prosper long-term. We preach that all the time. It's a skill set that will allow you to make money for the rest of your life. So teach your team how to lose. But ladies and gentlemen, that's my time. Jason Brown, thank you so much. I hope that you could just have me on another time so I could spit some other stuff, some other nuggets. But sir, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I got some trays I'm about to send out for everybody to eat. But thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Shout out El Paso one more time. Thank you, sir. I'm gonna see you real soon. Appreciate it.
Dude, much love, Ricky. All the love back to you too, bro. And I did actually forget to tell you guys, as part of the edification process, that Ricky is Pay Me in Profits. He's on Swipe Trades. If you're not subscribed to Swipe Trades, you got to be on there, because I haven't asked him in like the last few days. I don't even think he's sent a trade that didn't go in the right direction yet. So we don't want to be jinxing anything out here. We don't want to be overhyping results. Past results don't dictate future profits. But what I love about Ricky is his efficiency. Okay, this is a big thing to cap off this call. We still got over 500 people on here right now. We've been on for almost 2 hours. So salute to you guys for being efficient as well. I know some people had to get off to get on other trainings and different things like that, and that's cool. But I'm not even hating on that, because we've been here for a while. But what I am proud of is all the people that stayed and remained here, because all the way up until the very last second, value. What Ricky just went over at the very, very end is one of the things that can really help your organization stick, okay? It's the reverse psychology. We have to prepare people for what's to come. So one of the things that I urge all of you guys to do is think about the things that are inevitable, right? Ricky talked about the losing trades and the people that are gonna quit. We have to prepare people and not be scared, okay? And not be intimidated by telling them that this is going to happen, right? I tell people when they come in, look, this isn't going to be easy. If you're looking for me to babysit you, you got the wrong guy. If you're looking for someone who can guide you and help you in any type of situation, then you knocked on the right door, because mentorship is about keeping arm's length so that you can become independent. But you got to be ready to embrace failure. You got to be ready to lose. You got to be ready for some hardship, because it's going to take some time in order for you to gain all that knowledge and wisdom in order to become successful. The other thing that Ricky talked about that I'm extremely grateful for is the culture aspect. Guys, you cannot be afraid to love on people. One thing that Matt and I have always done with our organization, with our cross lines. I mean, look, most people don't even know, but there's a lot of other leaders that aren't even in our organization, and we love them, right? Because we don't look at it like that, right? You got to embrace everybody. You got to embrace good energy, and those are the little things. But when you really go into your organization, you go deep and you show people that they matter, guys, every little piece creates the puzzle, right? If you're missing one, think about this. If you're missing one piece, the puzzle is useless. You got to have every single piece. So in order for you to go Chairman 500, all 500 people matter, right? All 500 people matter. So let's show Ricky some love in the chat box. Let's show some love for this call in the chat box. I am going to get this up on my YouTube channel tonight. I'm going to wait for it to upload and get this up. Chris Derrick just flew into Miami from Phoenix, Arizona. So I just got the text. He landed at the airport about an hour ago. He's about to be over here at the Casa. We got some work to do, and I'm going to Europe. Chris is going to Europe for the next 30 days. Okay, we literally are about to spend the next 30 days completely crushing it in 17 countries. We have events in 17 countries all around Europe. I'm excited. I haven't packed the thing yet, so don't ask me that question, but we're going to figure it out because that's what we do. So, guys, another amazing Next Wave leadership call. I personally am making the commitment to continue doing these while I'm in Europe, hosting them, doing what I got to do as long as, my Wi-Fi situation permits, but it should, because we're going to be in hotels and stuff. So, guys, next week, another week, we're going to pull some great leaders out and another opportunity to continue to learn and grow inside of iMarketsLive. So much love, everybody. Appreciate you. Connect with me on Instagram, jasonbrown.official. I'll see you guys soon. Actually, I'll see you guys next week. Peace.